South African, a very warm welcome to you. This is Afternoon Express, and I'm Jeannie D. How you
Bonnie, ladies in black. Coming up on the show today, it's triple the woman power as we chat to three entertainment personalities who are at the top of their game. Actress Thuso Mbedu made South Africa proud last year when she was nominated for an International Emmy Award, and then she went on to win a SAFTA for Best Actress.
We also have the two ladies from the Fresh Breakfast Show on Metro FM in the Loft. Angie Khumalo joins us along with sports presenter Mpho Letsholonyane. Is that right?
Yeah.
There you go, I'm waxing this today.
Formerly Maboi.
Yeah.
And just to spice things up, thrown into the middle of all these strong women, we've got the big dog himself, DJ Fresh, on the show. We'll be chatting presenter Search on 3, and tonight it's the first elimination challenge for the top 10.
Exactly. And are you following the presenter search at home on their journey? It's amazing. Let us know who you are rooting for in the top 10. Tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the official hashtag Afternoon Express, or comment on our Facebook page.
Now, Thuso Mbedu is arguably the most sought-after actress in South Africa at the moment. Last year, she was nominated for an International Emmy Award, and then in 2018, she scooped up a SAFTA for Best Actress.
Now, to add to these accolades, she was recently named as one of Forbes Africa's top 30 under 30 creatives, along with the likes of Casper Nyovest, I think is one of them, Questa, and Nomzamo Mbata.
Guys, win. All right. Mfethu mntu ngemali uma lewangixosha angazi ukuthi ngiyephi.
Hawu, la maninja akho lapha phela umoya wena?
Uma kuba yaphetha mfethu kumele ngiphume lana.
Ish, nakumina kuyabheda. Uyazi nje mase kuphela inyanga, umuntu ulala ngomdoko.
Mfethu kumele kube khona into ozoyenza, ngiyacela.
Hayi kuyabheda wena. Wayengacela ulibona?
Ngingikwazi ukufana nolibona lathi izomosheka yonke. Intandakazi yalibona ngeke ikwazi libe lumncenga.
Then phanda ke, ngiyazi ukuthi uzokwenza kwenzeke.
Ngingikwazi.
You're a designer.
No, but you give me a job, I turn the shop into Paris.
No job.
Please, Chaisen, I need a job. I make you money, I make you everything you want.
Wow. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I love that in that clip, your friend was telling you just hustle, because in your life, I think that's exactly what you have done. With really difficult beginnings, you took a situation and you turned it into the best. What was your upbringing like, just to tell the audience?
Okay, upbringing, I was brought up by my grandmother because at the age of 4, I lost my mother to a brain tumor. And then I didn't have a relationship with my father at all. My grandmother was very strict. She'd previously been a school principal. And I remember from like grade 6, grade 7, I'd made the decision to be a dermatologist because growing up again, I had a bunch of allergies. I was allergic to everything.
Yeah.
And then grade 10, we had to choose our subjects. So I did pure maths, I did bio, I did physics, and then I'd chosen drama as
brainy stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
I had to be a dermatologist. and then I chose drama as the more relaxing subject.
Right.
But when I did it, I started writing, I started directing, and I saw the potential of drama and how it could transform lives, not only my lives, but the people of my life, but the audience.
Yeah.
And then attending rehearsals and stuff like that. And then I think end of grade 10, grade 11, I told my grandmother that this is what I want to do with the rest of my life, you know. And she didn't speak to me for like a whole month because, again, my mom had been like a physics and maths teacher.
Okay.
So it made sense that I go that route, you know. And then I pushed on.
This is where you are.
This is where I am.
So we just saw a clip from Istunzi, which is the work that you were Emmy nominated for. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much.
That is a huge deal, all before the age of 30.
Wow.
What did that moment feel like when you heard that you were a nominee?
It was actually very, very, very surreal. I think even thinking about it now, it's like, did it really happen? But it did, because I experienced it. I had the opportunity to go overseas, you know, meet people, get to know the fact that there are so many more other industries.
Oh, and your red carpet look was just, wow, that is amazing.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's interesting for me is, and this is true, it's not like a moaning session or anything, but anytime an actor, a South African actor or actress gets international attention and then they have to come back into the industry, there's this weird stonewalling and we're done with you.
Yes.
What is that? Is it our fear of creating stars? Is it just garden variety hate?
For me personally, just from my experience, I think our industry doesn't allow for people to grow. It's like after the nomination, I remember I had a sit-down meeting with a couple of producers, and they were like, "Oh, we should have tried to get you before the nomination because now you're too expensive." That time we hadn't even discussed contracts, you know. But then also it's just we want to show you that you're not better than us. That's been my experience of the industry post the nomination.
It stunts the whole industry.
It does.
Actually.
It's a very real
It doesn't build anybody because actually, when you were named one of the top 30 under 30 in Forbes Africa, I think you had gone for 7 months without doing any work, and it's so awful being blocked like that to be able to go and find work. So what do you do? How do you get out of that kind of rut?
For me, well, financially, what helps me financially is that whenever I have a job, I save. I do not make the mistake. I think that was one of the things that I was fortunate enough to experience at the very beginning of my career. With my very first role, I was surrounded by industry veterans who were able to guide me and tell me that, okay, realistically, we all come into the industry thinking it's glitz and glamour, but the reality of it is not the same.
It's hard work.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
So, and also just after my very first role, I did go a few months without working, and so my savings came into play. So whenever I get a new role, I always save because you don't know when the next gig will come.
Exactly.
So yeah, even with that, but then practically what I've chosen to do now, in the time where I did spend about 6-7 months without working, I started writing and writing the roles that I want to see. And now growing, I'm building the relationships that will one day help me be able to shoot and make the product that I want to see.
It's the only way to do it. We saw Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman do that.
You
with
have to
Big
create
Little
your
Lies.
own
You
stuff.
have to create
really
your own
do.
content. What are you working on at the moment? Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so in terms of the industry, I just started shooting with Generations at the beginning of June. But then on my side, I'm still trying to push to get funding for the series that I wrote myself. And it's a series that I wrote, again, was the time where I wasn't working, but it was always a question of coming from varsity. Oh, there it is. Coming from varsity, I realized that a bunch of us, my peers and the people coming up behind us, would rather stream foreign work than watch our own stuff. So I was like, okay, as Thuso, what do I want to watch? What would I want to stream as a South African? And I wrote that script.
You got the chance to also study at the Stella Adler School of Acting, and you say you learnt a different way of storytelling. How different is it from our usual way of storytelling that we've gone used to?
So the program that I went to, that I went to, whatever. English.
Your English data bundles are running out.
It was for the physical theatre and acting. Right. So it makes use of the whole body when it comes to physicalizing a character. And what I've realized with our industry is that we focus just on the face. And even when I was shooting my pilot for the series, I asked some of my friends to join me just in rehearsals. And in the way that I direct it, I'll stop you at random moments and say, okay, at this moment, what is your toe doing? And it's things that we take for granted. What is your finger doing? Because then you don't want your toe being Thuso while your face is being someone else. You know, it completely changes the way that you approach the character. Simple things like that.
Okay, what are your toes doing right now?
They make Thuso, they're relaxing.
Thank you so much for being on the show, and best of luck. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the big screen a lot more.
Absolutely. Coming up after the break, we sit down with Metro FM's Angie Khumalo, who's not only a radio personality, but also a biochemist, biker, and farmer. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, for most of us, when we're told to follow our passions in life, it usually means to be one thing. But what happens when your passion is radio, current affairs, motorbiking, biochemistry, and farming? Well, for Metro FM's Angie Khumalo, you simply follow them all.
Exactly. When she's not news reading on the Fresh Breakfast Show, you'll find her in garbed leather, screaming along the highway on her motorbike, or looking after the cows on her farm. But Angie's career first started in science. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, ladies.
Wow, you are like our Meryl Streep.
Oh, wow, Meryl Streep.
Amazing, you're good at everything.
We can start the interview right now.
And I was so hoping you were going to be in your leathers and your studded...
You know, and I actually thought about it, and then I thought it would be over the top, because it was either going to be the leathers or the overalls. I thought, no, maybe let's just, you know.
What
keep it
bike do you
simple.
ride?
I have an adventure bike, and then I've got a cruiser, and
Is the cruiser this one that you sit on like that?
Wow, look at you.
Look at me. Look at me.
Wow.
No, that's a roadster. That's basically the bike you use to get around town with.
Is that your crew?
Just the
squad?
one. Just the one. That's the biker queen. That's what we call
Wow,
her.
you guys.
Yes.
That is so
And that's my
sexy.
adventure one. When I want to Bundu Bash, then we take that one. And then, of course, I've got a small one that we use on the farm.
Okay. How did you start riding bikes?
Actually, I had a boyfriend when I was still in Bloem, and he got himself a bike, and I was like, oh, this is great, but I would have to sit behind.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really like the lack of control that comes with sitting behind somebody and you're basically going where they're going.
Yeah.
And then I thought, no, I need to get my own bike, and I never looked back.
That's incredible. So, but
freedom on that bike.
you're also a farmer.
Yes.
When did the farming begin?
The farming began because I had a rural upbringing. So there was constantly cows and chickens and that type of thing. So it never goes away. Even when you've grown up and you've gone on to urban life, it stays with you.
You just long for it.
Absolutely. You know, when your soul is unhappy, you feel like I need to be at a farm. The quiet, the silence, the peace, commune with the cows. They don't commune
amazing.
What do you farm?
Basically cows.
Okay.
Cattle. Yes.
Okay.
What I want to get into, because this is something I haven't been doing for a very long time, is get into breeding high pedigreed
Like
cattle.
Wagyu.
You see, and then sell
Give
it.
them massages.
You have to get into that. I mean,
Give
is
them
a cow
like
pretty
little sleeps.
expensive? Because a cow is expensive. They're like
Yes.
amazing investments.
Absolutely. So if they are very high pedigreed, you can auction them off for like 150,000 to 450,000.
A cow?
That's
you need
amazing.
to keep the breed very, very high
pure,
pedigreed.
yeah.
So that's
So-
what I want to do.
Yeah.
The fresh breakfast.
Yes.
You guys get up so early.
We do.
I was on this morning, and when Fenty called me, I was like, he was like, hey, Bonnie. And I was like, dude,
And
do you
you're
know what
like,
time it is? Because
calm
I'd totally
down.
forgotten. And I was just like, there are
Yes.
people at 6 o'clock in the morning who are going, yeah!
And we've been at it for like an hour by the time we called you. So 5 o'clock in the
Joburg,
morning.
they're all in traffic at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So how does that change your life, though, in terms of being ready at that time of the morning and being ready to talk sense, a lot of sense,
Yes.
and have all your ducks in a row and
Yes.
just do it diligently?
Well, I don't think the human body was actually made to wake up that early, but then you condition your mind because you're like, well, the body wants to sleep, but the mind's got to be awake.
Yeah.
So you do what you need to do.
And you obviously go to sleep quite early in the evening so that you get in your 8 hours because you're beautiful. So that doesn't look like an exhausted face to me.
I have insomnia, but I don't sleep ever.
Wow.
But yeah, it does make your social life, your adulting life a
Very
bit
different.
Yeah, because people are trying to go out at like 8 and you're like, guys, I need to go to
Bedtime.
bed.
It's like
now.
having children.
Yes.
Yeah, I
That's
think
exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
They say that your average person will probably have between 2 or 3 careers or career changes in your
Yes.
lifetime.
Yes.
But I mean, you've had quite an extraordinary story getting to where you are now, but started off as a biochemist.
Yes.
I mean, what is biochemistry, firstly?
I went to varsity to do biotechnology, actually, and genetics. Genetics explains itself. So we were going to go in there and change how we plant things that don't, go off after a certain time. So because I was brainy, they decided, no, we'll give you a bursary. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Mom doesn't have to pay for this. So I went into biotechnology and genetics. And then when I was doing my master's, a friend of mine decided that, listen, we have such a ball together. Let's go into campus radio and just have this ball that we have together on campus radio. And that's what I did. I moved on to campus radio, and I had a lot of good times there. And then at the time, the commercial station in the Free State was looking to expand. When they expand, they mean they want to introduce melanin people. So I went into that. But then I had to,
horizons.
yes, just a tad bit. And I had to choose by then because I was doing my master's. And when you're a scientist, you can't be half buttocked about it. I was going to say the other A word.
I love it.
But
you can't throw half a cheek into it.
No, you can't. So you have to throw both cheeks into it. And so they thought that you need to
well-rounded.
Be well-rounded. It needs to be a peach. So they told me that I need to choose between the two because you can't do it halfway.
Yeah.
So I thought, I had much more fun doing radio than I do science.
Yeah.
So I told my mom, listen, I'm going to go and try this thing.
Wow.
And I never looked back. Luckily.
Well, we think you're amazing, and we're so happy that you decided to settle your peach on our couch today. Coming up after the break, we meet the other half of the Fresh Breakfast Show's female contingent, sports presenter Mpho, who recently got married, and we look at the art of yoga and how it can help early childhood development. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Mpho Letsholonyane is one of the country's leading sports anchors. Every morning on Metro FM, she fills listeners in on the latest happenings from the sporting world, alongside co-presenters DJ Fresh, Angie, Khumalo and Somizi. She's also recently married the love of her life, professional footballer Letsholonyane, and together they have two adorable children. Welcome to the loft, Mpho. Lovely to have you with us.
I hope Jeannie didn't run away because of my surname.
No. That's so hilarious. Speaking of surnames, it's a big leap to change your surname completely, especially when you've built a brand in the industry on your maiden name.
Yeah.
And if you're like me and then something goes wrong and then you have to go back to your maiden name, it's like a bit of a like...
But that's the thing. I actually told Habi that should we ever get divorced, I'm not changing back.
That's
because
awesome.
Just changing from Maboi to Letsholonyane was a process in itself. So now that people are going to be used to Letsholonyane, I'm not going back to Maboi. Your future wife must just be strong.
That's beautiful. And why that decision?
Actually, it was quite a lengthy process. I spoke to quite a number of women in the industry who've gone through the process of changing their surnames, and I asked them why. And all of them just said, listen, at the end of the day, we're African. You also want your husband's family to feel like you've welcomed them as well, and you are fully, to use Angie's, your peaches in there, fully.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, it was
gesture.
literally that. I was like, you know what, let me just go fully in, not confuse the kids as well, because we do have a 6-year-old. So the last thing I wanted was to confuse him as well. Like, why is mommy's surname different to the rest
and
of us?
double barrel surnames are just, when filling in forms, it's a lot. Usually the space is really small.
is so lengthy. Imagine double barrel. My God, I would die.
I mean, we can count the number of women in sports who are dominating in sports in this country, and you have paid your dues over and over and over. How would you describe paying your dues in an industry like that as a woman?
Ooh, I think paying your dues comes with a lot of hard work, a lot of tears that people never get to see, because it is a heartbreaking industry. You have to work twice as hard just to be taken half as seriously.
Wow.
But at the end of the day, it toughens you up. It makes you ever so hardworking, because you literally double, triple check everything you go on air with. So I think more than anything, I always tell women who say, I'm so interested in being in sport as a woman, I say just be ready to work really, really hard. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It is not easy. But at the end of the day, I love this, man. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I mean, anyone who listens to you can feel that you absolutely love it. And I love how you come through, though.
Yeah.
Like, you're not coming through in those tennis tops, those navy blue
I'm not
ones.
trying to be a boy.
Like, this is how I'm coming.
I had my tomboy moments. I was a tomboy for the longest time, and the moment I decided to embrace my femininity, I stuck to it. And I was like, listen, I'm a girl. I'm not going to pretend I'm one of the boys. Yes, I am one of the boys when I'm talking, but I'm still a woman. And there still needs to be that difference between me and the boys.
Yeah.
So I can't come in there trying to pretend to be one of them. I will never be one of them.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I think as a female, you need to make that clear, so that even the girl who is watching you wanting to be there needs to know that you don't need to let go of your femininity in order to be in a male-dominated industry.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, you've anchored your own shows and you've hosted huge shows. What is the biggest show that you've anchored and you look back and you thought, oh my goodness, I can't believe I pulled that off?
I think doing the G Sport for Girls Awards last year alongside Angie was one of my highlights.
Wow.
It is an award ceremony strictly for women in sport, and being, able to put out that broadcast was it was mind-blowing. Being in Brazil for the Olympics for the entire month was mind-blowing. That was another absolutely awesome experience. And now, currently, during the World Cup, it's the first time that I'm actually in studio during a World Cup and being able to do the games. So for me, that's taking my career to another notch.
Absolutely, that is incredible. I mean, it's such a unique position to be in, and no one can say that they've had all those experiences.
No.
And one of the biggest roles for you that's really close to your heart is being a mom and a wife.
Yes.
I mean, I'm a mom, and it's a thing.
It is.
It's a thing. It's like hosting a breakfast show.
You know what I mean? It's absolutely amazing watching the little ones grow right in front of you. There are moments when I watch my kids and I'm like, when did we get here? Just the other day I was telling Fenza, you spoke about him, our Fresh Breakfast producer, and Gineilwe, the 11-year-old, said to me, Mommy, when Justin Bieber's in the country, we need to go to the concert. And I said, oh my God, when did we get to concert stage?
Wow.
And you get those moments of, wow,
these people are growing up fast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And being a mom who's hardly ever at home, I have to take those moments to pause.
Yes.
And say, this is your time. I switch off my phone.
Yeah.
And I literally, it's me and them.
I absolutely do the same. It's like
Yeah.
they're so precious. You have to be fully
You
present.
have to. You have to. Because they go by so quickly.
Yeah.
And sadly, they don't have a pause button.
Yeah.
So if you miss it, it's gone.
And the fresh breakfast, I mean, that show is wild.
It's crazy.
How do you guys keep that energy going, amped all the way?
I think it's a mutual love for one another. It's a mutual respect for one another. And more than anything, I think we all come in there knowing why we're there. We want to entertain. We want to have fun while entertaining.
Yes, and you want to inform.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
not about us. It's about you as the listener at home or in the car, or in the office. So it's that. We just want to have fun.
Yeah,
We're just there
yeah.
to literally have
I mean,
fun.
I love listening to you guys. You guys really show up. And
We're
you show
stupid,
up for
though.
every aspect of it. I love it.
It's
Yeah,
for
you
intelligent
guys
people who
have
come together but
dummy
get
moments.
to be stupid together. It doesn't get better than that.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you for
today.
having
You're superb.
me. Thank you.
So when it comes to a shift in lifestyle, seeing the bigger picture of well-being and using daily disciplines like yoga to center ourselves, we're mostly talking about adults doing these things. A savvy shift in thinking is now applying yoga to childhood development in less privileged communities and, of course, getting amazing results.
The Earthchild project operates in 8 Western Cape Township schools, including Lavender Hill and Khayelitsha. They offer complementary education to under-resourced schools, and founder and director Janet Kretzmar focuses on environment, health, and self-development.
Jenna, the Earthchild project is such an incredible initiative, and it's not hard to see why. Why did you feel it was important to start this initiative when you did?
It was really because we wanted to create change in society. And for that, we believe that we need to start with children when they're really young. And we also believe that more than just a focus on academic education was necessary to support children to grow up into confident, healthy, balanced, all-round successful human beings. And both Nokopiwa and myself had experienced personally the benefits of yoga. And so that was one of the tools that we brought to the project right from the beginning.
One thing that really stood out for me is your holistic approach. You don't just teach the children yoga, but you teach them how to live, essentially.
At Earthchild Project, we really believe that we need to look at the whole child. So we need to give them practical skills, not just theoretical skills. And so everything that we do is hands-on, experiential, practical, like more holistic lifestyle, how to look after their bodies, how to improve their health, how to manage stress, how to manage peer group pressure. And that's really what we aim for, is to support them now to be the best versions of themselves that they can be and to prepare them for the future.
So our friends at Pure Farb have given us some mats to hand over to you, and Aven has sponsored some sunscreen for the children, which is really important in sun care.
We're a non-profit organization, and so everything we do is through the generosity and support of individuals and businesses. And so we have 3,000 children doing yoga every single week, so we need lots of yoga mats and lots of support in that way. So we're really grateful for the support. Thank you.
It's one thing to take holistic health as your overall approach to finding balance and taking responsibility for your well-being. But a generous helping hand makes it much easier to enjoy yoga with Pure Farb donations of these Alancel yoga mats, and to do so outdoors, thanks to Aven providing high protection sun care.
And breathe out with a smile. It's a beautiful day, guys. Are you going to take my phone? All right, now we're going to wait for handover.
So Knox, yourself and Jenna decided to bring yoga to Khayelitsha and surrounding areas under the Earthchild project. What brought this about?
I was working as a freelancer, and I had a group of kids that I was teaching drama, music, and dance in my spare time. And then I met Jana through Art of Living. She had an idea of working with kids and do holistic approach, or bring holistic approach in disadvantaged communities. And it was love at first sight because I was already working with the kids anyway.
Where did your love for yoga come from, and specifically the African child?
Well, I'm always passionate about anything that will change someone's life. anything that has to do with development. So I wanted something that was so unique and different. It had a lot of benefits, and also me experiencing it, also just the dramatic change in my life really made a lot of impact, and I wanted to do it.
How do the teachers respond to the children after yoga?
This I get from a lot of teachers, from parents, and. You get parents coming. What have you done to my child? She's telling me not to eat this and this and this. Because it's not just yoga on the mat. We talk about healthy living lifestyle. We talk about how to be as a person, how to, so all of that. And the parents come to us and the teachers would say, Knox, what did you do to them? Before now, they were like, up there, crazy. And then now all of a sudden, they're so calm and relaxed. As a result, a lot of the teachers would say, can you take them before mathematics or before, before these like very important learning areas? So, yeah.
Earthchild facilitator Mpho Letsholonyane teaches a weekly yoga lesson equipping children with practical life skills and knowledge.
I enjoy yoga because it helps me connect with my body and it releases stress and it refreshes my mind.
I've been doing yoga for 1 year and it helps me to play sport. It also helps me to focus in the class and listen.
And yoga helped me a lot at school. I can pay attention to the teacher and I can concentrate in class and some other things like that.
I've been doing yoga for 2 years and it helps me to focus and concentrate on what I am doing.
It's clear that yoga is such an important aspect of a quest through a holistic life. It's transformed my own life and really helped me. And it clearly has helped these little children to find balance and to take responsibility for their everyday choices. What a wonderful initiative where young students can learn how to connect to themselves, each other and their environment through the means of yoga and new life skills. Thanks to our friends at Pier 5 for contributing to the approach of holistic living. After the break, Clem shows us how to make an authentic Italian focaccia. Plus, we talk presenter search on 3 with the big dog himself, DJ Fresh. Who are you rooting for in the top 10? Tweet us and let us know at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express, or pop over to our Facebook page and leave us a comment. We'll be right back. Soothing by nature.
Pride brings a touch of pride and the natural beauty of olive oil to your table. Made with love by Clover.
Olive Pride's blend contains a delicate mix of seed oils and extra virgin oil that delivers a wonderful almond aroma and flavor. Today, it is the quintessential ingredient in a focaccia bread recipe topped with delicious Olive Pride olives. This is a simple and easy recipe, and to try this at home, SMS the keyword Clover to 33650. Clem? This is one of my favorite things to eat when I am at peace with carbs.
And also when people get it right.
Then it's beautiful.
Yeah, because some people be serving it like rock hard, like a piece of biscuit.
Dried up.
You have to get this right. So in here, I've got some sugar and I've got some yeast, and you can see we've fed the yeast because it's all nice and bubbly, and you can smell it.
I can smell it.
Good things are about to happen.
I love this dough. I'm loving it. It looks so fluffy.
It is, absolutely. So we're going to go in with a little bit of flour.
Okay.
And then I've got some water there on the side.
How long did it take for the yeast to get like that?
It actually takes really quick, so it depends on the temperature outside as well. It's quite cold right now, but it still takes like 10 minutes to start bubbling and getting that smell going on. Awesome. Olive Pride, I love adding olive oil to my doughs.
Yeah?
It just adds like a nice sheen to the dough as well.
I've never tried that before.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Just like that. I think that's enough. There we go.
Okay.
A little bit of water because you need that moisture. And then very important, salt. So you always want to feed your yeast with sugar.
So you can mix water and the oil?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And if you want to make it even more tender, add milk. That's a trick as well. So we're going to go in with the dough, get it all nice together. There's a rule when it comes to bread. The wetter, the better.
The wetter, the better.
Yeah, so if you have a nice wet dough, it's going to give a better resulting bread. And you're going to get that by not overworking it, over kneading it, not adding too much dry ingredients. So this is going to keep on doing its thing. You'll scrape down the bowl continuously.
Scrape down the sides.
Exactly, down the sides. So you make sure you incorporate all the flour before you go and add any extra if you think your dough is wet. Right, then the trick is resting, because the yeast is alive, right? We know this. So it has to rest a bit so it can kind of like make its way through the flour, all the ingredients, and come alive. Exactly, and you see, you can see it doing its thing because you can kind of see those little bubbles over there. That's the yeast expanding. What's happening is the yeast feeds off the sugar, creates carbon dioxide and alcohol, which causes it to puff up. But don't worry about the alcohol, that cooks away. So that's fine. Right.
I'm not worried about the alcohol.
That cooks away. So you get your basic dough. And then it sits, doubles in size, and then you punch it down with your fingers, okay?
Just like that.
You got to create the space for the ingredients. And my extra ingredients, I'm going to go with some olives. I'm going to use this fork right here.
I can use black olives or green.
Absolutely. This is where you go crazy and you add whatever you like. I like keeping them nice and big because it's going to go to the oven. They're going to cook. If it's bigger, it's not going to kind of burn. You know what I mean? And it also creates a nice mouthful. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Then I got some caramelized onions. Will you do that for me?
Caramelized.
Caramelized.
Okay.
And then while you're doing that, I'm going to sprinkle some salt.
I love caramelized onions.
It's such a kitchen hack as well. If you want to add something savory to a dish, add caramelized onions.
Okay.
Just like that. And then...
to spread them all over, huh?
Absolutely. And those pockets also help hold the olives and the olive oil and the onion.
And hold all the flavor.
Then it goes into the oven. It comes out looking beautiful like that.
And then do you add the sea salt at the end?
I like adding it in before it goes into the oven. You can taste, if you like, if you want more seasoning, add some more at the end, absolutely.
Okay, nice.
That's easy to make focaccia. The wetter the better, don't forget.
This looks so delicious. Am I taking this pan home to my guests
this one is for
tonight?
That one's for you, absolutely.
You know I love you. Remember to SMS the keyword Clover to 33650. SMSs do cost R1.50 each and no free SMSs apply. And if you'd like to give this a go, and if you missed it, here's a quick recap of the steps.
Made with love by Clover.
In tonight's episode of Presenter Search on 3, the top 10 will be put to the test in their first individual challenge. And at the end of it all, one will be eliminated from the competition. We've got the Fresh Breakfast Show team in the loft today, and the big dog himself joins us now. Yes, guys, the competition is heating up.
Yeah.
It is getting very, very tight. Fresh, as one of the main judges, what has been your favourite experience so far?
My favorite experience has been the initial auditions, where you can tell that these are hungry people want to get into the industry.
Sure.
I mean, I was shopping my demo around for 5 years before I got a gig.
Yeah.
So I understand the hunger. I understand being in a long queue. I understand being interviewed with 1,000 people and possibly not going to make it.
Yeah.
So I love that excitement that comes at the initial stages. Because now it's business.
Yeah.
You know, now it's top 10.
Yeah. And they're all really good, so it's going to be a very difficult choice.
Exactly.
I mean, you know radio and TV. What do you think it takes to survive in this industry?
I think it takes a lot of tenacity, but more than anything, it takes knowing why you are here.
Yeah.
Because if you do not know why you're here, then the fame and everything else will always derail you. But if you know why you're waking up every morning to go do this thing called radio or television, then you'll survive anything.
Yeah. As a judge, I mean, what are you personally looking for?
I'm looking for a person that doesn't look like they're doing a TV gig.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want to feel like you're talking to me. I don't want to feel like I'm looking at a screen.
Yeah.
So if you're not grabbing me by the scruff of the neck, proverbially, of course. Kids, don't try that at home. But if I don't feel like you are inviting me into your world, but also you're not performing for the camera, I'm not interested.
No.
Then you've lost me. I look forward to the ad break because it feels like I'm pulling nails now. So
You know what I'm looking for, and I realised it now when I was actually interviewing Angie, is to be and to succeed and survive on TV and on radio, you've got to be an interesting person.
Yes.
Like, you are so interesting to speak to. You are so interesting to speak to. And it's a natural interest. And that's the star that I think should be born from this competition.
Yes. But I think also, over and above that, we a lot of the time we almost underrate and understate ourselves.
Yeah.
I think every single person has a story, but it's how you make that story not only palatable but interesting. And I think your role as a presenter is to be able to interview a rock and keep me watching. Because you might draw blood from that rock.
Exactly. I mean, some people could. Sometimes a lot of interviews feels like you're drawing blood from a rock.
I've been there. Where I'm like, geez, find me a stone. I get more of this stone than this person.
It does happen a lot. Okay, so from your experience of what you were looking at the challenges now, from what we're going to see on the show tonight, how did our top 10 fare?
You know what, I think they all generally did well. 3 of them almost dropped the ball. But generally, I think they're ripe for TV. I think all 10 could start a TV gig today. They are so seasoned already. And a lot of them have no TV experience whatsoever. Some do, and unfortunately, sometimes your TV experience works against you because you bring bad habits with that. So a lot of the raw talent, I feel, are the ones who are rising to the occasion the most.
You know what I love about this big guy? Now, you both know him very well. He's such a softie.
He really is.
Are we going there?
Yes, of course we must go
I
there.
appreciate it. I actually really appreciate it. You are so honest, and because it's people's lives, and I think it's very...
He's got a huge heart.
The thing is, people almost expect us, because we're judges, to be brutally honest. And yes, be honest, but don't rip a person apart. Don't.
But it's good for television.
No, but you can't.
But it's someone's life.
Exactly.
Like, I can be quite harsh, but it's quite hectic sometimes.
This is exactly what the radio show feels like all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
She's on this shoulder, she's on the other shoulder, and I must listen to the one in red or the one in white.
No, you're 100% right. So, I mean, what's been your highlight so far of the show?
My highlight...
Because the first elimination that people are going to be seeing tonight was definitely not it.
You know, the elimination wasn't nice.
No.
And unfortunately, the person that gets eliminated wasn't necessarily horrible, but someone had to go. and they were the weakest link on the day. But generally, I think they do a good job.
Yeah.
Have you cried yet?
Gee, he came close, but that's happening tonight.
Is it?
Are we done? No, carry on.
As you were.
My favorite part of the show is going to be at the reunion island when we shoot there. So it hasn't come yet.
And I don't know if anybody knows that that's where we go. Oops. Spoiler alert. Thanks for that one, Fresh. Okay, so you're going to be broadcasting on the Espresso Show tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, 6 to 9.
And our top 10 is going to be delivering live.
Oh, nice.
But radio prepares you for live TV, don't you think?
Oh, yes.
So what should all of these presenters be aware of tomorrow before they go live on TV?
You have one shot.
Yeah.
Every link is one shot.
And you're only ever as good as your previous gig.
Yeah.
So if you get the opportunity to do another link, you're only as good as your last link.
And
that's pressure.
And also, you need to realize that radio is theatre of the mind.
Oh, yeah.
They can't see you, so you need to grab them and grasp them from the word go.
Yeah, don't be half buttocked about it.
Don't ever go half peach. Go full peach.
Yes.
Put your full peach into it.
Yes. Peach, please. Yes, indeed.
Please. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show. So we're going to catch you on Espresso tomorrow. I'll see you bright and early.
Yes.
And enjoy it. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Make sure you catch all the action from tonight's episode of Presenter Search on 3 at 8:30 on SABC3. And don't forget, if you missed tonight's episode, you can watch the repeat on Sunday at 12 p.m. We'll be right back.
This week on Presenter Search on 3, our top 10 get put through their paces in their first ever solo presenting challenge.
I haven't done this in years, I cannot wait.
We are seeking excellence.
I am horrible at this.
Wow.
Wait, no, I'm not ready. Tough crowd. And then one contestant will be sent home.
Catch Presenter Search on 3, Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Repeats Saturdays at 12 midday, only on SABC3. The stage is yours.
Bank better to live better with Capitec. If you do just one thing this year, bank better in 2018. Get the Capitec credit card with a limit of up to 150,000 Rand with personalized interest from 12.9% based on your credit profile and affordability. Bank better to live better with Capitec.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. It's been such an inspiring afternoon with just three of the most magnificent women that I've chatted to in the industry for a long time. It's a big party as well. I'm so grateful to the Fresh Breakfast Show for bringing their party to our couch. That was a lot of fun. And welcome back to the couch, Thuso.
Thank you.
So I want to know more about your Emmy Awards experience. Where was it held and what was the event like?
It was in New York. The one thing I remember was it was really cold. It was like it's an American winter. I was just like, the whole time. But it was a weekend event. When we arrived, there was like a welcoming dinner where you met everybody. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but there were 2 black people there, like in the whole thing. It's the craziest thing, yeah.
That is insane.
And you were one of them.
Yeah. I think in terms of nomination, I think I was the only one. At the dinner, though, it was Mankosi of the NFVF who was there with me. Yeah. And then there was a panel discussion on the Saturday where you discuss the show and why you're nominated, etc. And I learned a lot. And when I saw the people's performances, I was like, oh my
Who were you competing with? Who were your other nominees?
There was a lady from Brazil. The one from Germany, and the one that won was from the UK. And something. Yeah. But they're all brilliant. Oh my gosh, they're brilliant.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
What do you love most about acting?
Oh goodness, there's so much that I love about acting, but I really enjoy the part where I can fully step into someone else's shoes and not judge them, but come to understand them. Because what I also do when I start a new character, when I play with a new character, is go on Google and research the psychology of the type of character that I'm going to be playing with. And we know, like, the context within we... Hey!
Yep, the English starter bundle again, as Bonnie would say. It's done.
It's like with social media, it's so easy to judge people. So it's quite refreshing to be able to take off my skin and come to understand someone else and play them authentically.
Yeah. And your character on Generations is really popular. Tell us a little bit about her.
Oh my goodness, she's exciting because when I think she came at a time where I remember I went home for a few days for the December holidays, and it's the weirdest thing. For the first time in a long time, I realized that the way I speak my Zulu is so different to the way my family speaks Zulu, and I yearned for it. I said, I want to speak like that again. And so when the character came, she's from rural KZN, and I was so excited because then I can play with the accent, you know. And it's been quite the mission trying to balance who she is, what they've painted her as, and what I think she should be like. Yeah. So, something interesting
but
to
that
see.
tension must be enjoyable because I think with everything that's written, an actor brings a whole new world and a new life to that space.
To that, and it's something I've never ever played before. So.
Yeah.
What's your dream role?
Ooh, my dream role, I think I'd like to do anything like on the level of Heath Ledger's The Joker. Oof, that would be like
that's
a proper
multi-layered.
Thank you so much for being on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Now, coming up on the show tomorrow, we've got Muvango star Gabriel Temudzani joining us on the couch, and Swaziland-born R&B artist Amanda Mo performs live. We'll be here same time, same place. Until then, good night. God bless.
See you tomorrow. Good night.
Express, made with love by Clover.
Nada Feel Good Production.